visitor, and that is the founder, Kiswahili Tekelezi, who has actually sponsored 9 of our students. Mr. Pius Odhiambo. Pius is a native of this village, but is coming from the other side of Uyundo. I remember mentioning about Kiswahili Tekelezi here in the staff room, because some of our students have been sponsored by the Kiswahili Tekelezi. So he's based in America, but today he felt he should come to Ndenga and maybe talk to us, to meet those students because we didn't know them. So he wanted to have a conversation with them. He also wanted to chat with us to see how we embrace Kiswahili Tekelezi. So we started in our office there with our class teachers, the deputy and me. Of course, we have interacted a lot, and we have agreed on a few resolutions, which we have agreed that we shall do that at a later time, because time is not on our side. So, for my kids, these are the staff of Ndenga, as I told you. Our CBA should be 24, but currently we are at 19, and 6 born teachers who are actually paid by our born. As I said, they are committed lot, very humble, and doing the work as teachers. Although the challenges may be there, but I want to categorically say that God has blessed them with very good teachers. So I want to usher you in to talk to them. I know you were once a teacher, and once you are a teacher, you remain a teacher. But of course, now you have changed your profession, you are doing a different thing, but you will still be a teacher. We are very much eager to listen to you, because you are going to talk to them. Yeah, I'm saying that they are more than willing to listen to you, because one, you're going to talk to them as a brother, you're going to talk to them as a teacher, you're going to talk to them as a professional, and most of the fact that you are in the UK and in the US, connectivity is also very good. Maybe, you never know, when one day, one time, you may connect us, even through our sons and daughters, to visit the US. So, some feel welcome. I know some of them are not here because they are in class, but the few that are here, we'll send a word to them. Thank you very much.
We are recording. We're going to share that with you, so I share them. Yeah, we are very open and recording. Transparency is one of our weaknesses. Yeah, so those who are not here, as I share this with
So, colleagues, thank you so much. I want us to sincerely welcome Bwana Pius to address us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Principal. I just come here to have a conversation. So when I started speaking, and you are not talking to me, I get discouraged, and keep away my points, and then and I took a flight from Washington DC, specifically just to come for this in order to explain this, because Kiswahili Tekelezi is a new thing, a new organization. Mr. Ogada calls it the first to 8 in most of the videos. Kiswahili International. No, the word international is not in our registration certificate. It's just Kiswahili, meaning Kiswahili Tekelezi. The first letter is Kiswa from the word Kiswahili. Then the second Tekelezi, the first two letters are very important Kiswahili. So I get embarrassed when the teachers from the school which we have adopted and the students which are sponsored cannot even pronounce the word Kiswati. Some say Kiswati, some people don't know what it means. So it is Kiswati, short form for Kiswahili Tekelezi. Thank you very much for listening to me and for that clarification. As I've said, I've come here to have a conversation. I've got a very long conversation with the administration, comprising of the principal, the deputy principal, the guidance and counseling, the class teachers for the students whom we are sponsoring. Which means when you handle Kiswati students here, it has to be teamwork. Mr. Ogeda is the representative. So his work is to make sure that whatever you bring to Kiswati meets the minimum requirement. And I've made it very clear that anything that we do here that we bring to Kiswati must be vetted by the administration, must be vetted by the staff, and Mr. Ogeda will have the final say after you all put all your views, because he knows what we need and what we look for. So secondly, Madam, I want to thank you very much. We have been having a lot of conflicts when dealing with Mr. Ogeda, because at times he doesn't know whether to introduce himself as a TSC officer at Ndenga Secondary School or as a member of the community where Kiswati operates. So he wears two hats. So when he's dealing with you, let us know when he's dealing with you as an officer under TSC or he's dealing with you as a member of the community, so that there's no conflict. Are we together now? So teachers also, when you approach him, please make it very clear that I'm approaching you as a member of the community coordinator for this thing, or as a teacher at Ndenga Secondary School. At the moment, for the few hours I've been here, there have been an overlap that is not well, has not been well defined, and I will explain that. And I agree with Mr. Ogeda that the list that comes from Ndenga High School must come from the teachers, class teachers. Then from the class teachers to the principal. Then from the principal for vetting in the staff room. Then from after vetting in the staff room to Mr. Ogeda. Then Mr. Ogeda will say, I'm dropping this because of this. I'm taking this because of this. I'm dropping this. And then the final list goes back to the staff room. So the key unit for giving a student for sponsorship here, the basic unit for vetting students for sponsorship at Ndenga Secondary School, as agreed with the principal today of the school administration, is the staff, members of staff. Teaching members of staff at Ndenga Secondary School. And of course, we have our criteria, which Mr. Ogeda will explain to you. Now, my second point, I didn't introduce myself because there's no time, but the people have already introduced myself. My second point is I'm going to drop all students that are in Kiswati program that will not be able to score an average of C+ and above in 3 terms, term 1, term 2, term 3. I can't pay for you fees and you're not performing, or you're not showing interest that you're going to perform, because this is an investment. And we don't want a situation whereby others calling a student, he or she ends up smoking bang around in the local market, and then he's drunk with the chana, he's shouting, I was at Kiswati school, and that will embarrassment for us as an organization, so we are preventing this. But the school administration had told me that you can't drop when you have started already with them, even when they're getting E's. I've agreed with them that I'm not going to do that. But look here, guys, I'm having a conversation, and I'm going to give you a chance to respond to my speech so that it becomes a conversation. A student is scoring an E in Kiswahili. Like me, I scored an E of 14 points when I was in primary because I was wasted by my teachers. All of my Kiswahili lessons were replaced with mathematics lessons. So we excelled in mathematics, we became the best mathematician in the whole country of this region. But Kiswahili denied me a chance to go and do engineering or computer science at the university. I thank God right now I'm doing it. But that was denied me very early. Now, do you know as a teacher, you have realized that student A has got an average grade of C instead of a C plus. All the other subjects she has performed well. But when it comes to Kiswahili or mathematics, the student has got an E. And therefore the average grade is a C. But if this student could have been helped to get a D plus or a D mathematics, this student would have got an average grade of C plus. So allow me to say this. I'm going to consider this request from the administration if the teachers agree to work with me. A student has got an average grade of C and I'm dropping that student because it is not no C plus. But why is the student getting an average grade of C is because of mathematics or Kiswahili. You are the Kiswahili teacher. You are the mathematics teacher. Can you please get this student out of the classroom and focus on this particular grade that is making her or him miss the minimum requirement for Kiswahili sponsorship. Now, for Ndenga Secondary School only, if I'm able to get such teachers who will come with and say, oh, Michelle has got a C, but this C is because of the performance in mathematics, which is an E. I'm ready to work with Michelle throughout this year so that next year the grade will be a C plus. Please continue sponsoring her. And you'll sign in front of the principal as a commitment. Then I'll be able to sponsor that student. And we are not going to pay you anything extra. If the principal decides to pay you something, that is between you and the principal. So it's upon you now to decide to help Kiswate, continue sponsoring students and Ndenga Secondary School who have scored C plus and below. I've not done this in the other sites, but for Ndenga I'm going to do this because it became a very heated debate, and that's the conversation I'm talking about. Now, for show of hands, these students are in your classes. How many teachers here are willing to work with such a student? No payment, because teaching is a calling. It's not just about payment. You are willing? Mwalimu, can you take note of his name? What's your name? Aquila. And which student would you like to work with? Michelle. Michelle, yes. Let that be noted. Who? Anybody else who is willing? Yes. Your name, please?
Wala Leonard. I teach Kiswahili, but I don't know the names of the students who are being sponsored by Kiswahili.
Oh, Mr. President, can you read them, please? Can you read the name?
It is
I know some of it. Mr. Ogeda, add the rest.
From 2, we just have 2.
From 2, I have Sharon. From 2, I have Maximilian Ayo from 1. I have Robin Udul from 1. I have Benedict Odiambo from 1. I have Ndonga from 1. Those are how many?
And then Marion. And Marion Rapudo.
1 West. James Ongilo 4 East. We also have ladies from 1 West.
Yeah.
One
So,
is there one for one is?
From 2, we have only 2.
Sir.
so you work with Ndonga. Okay, let that be minuted. What about the rest? Yes, which student do you want to work with?
Maximilian from 1 West.
Maximilian Ayo from 1 West. And what's your name?
Mr. Dong.
Mr.
Ondong.
And what do you teach?
Mathematics.
Mathematics, yes. Any other volunteer?
Sharon Akinyi to West.
Sharon Akinyi, 2 West. Any other?
Dennis 1 North.
Dennis who?
1 North. Don't
Yeah, Dennis Orino.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let us stop there. Those are a few. We have several.
This Dennis is for 1 West.
Yeah.
1 West.
1 West. Yeah, you can be a teacher in one.
Dennis is 1 North.
In 1 West.
Yeah, Dennis 1 North.
So let me say this. I was just trying to explain to you what I would like to see. Let the students who are likely to score less than a C plus at the end of this year be distributed among the teachers. You can even have 2 teachers for 1 student. And then I need a commitment. Mr. Ogeda will bring that documentation to me, that you are committing to work with this student for 1 year to improve the grade from whatever it is now to a C+. Now, when I get that commitment with the approval of the principal, I will consider sponsoring all students that are going to score less than a C+ by the end of this academic year. And this is only a privilege I'm giving to Ndenga High School because we had a conversation and they showed some interest. And KISWATE will not pay you anything for that extra work. If you are able to convince the principal that you have done some work, and the principal decides to pay you for that extra fuel, your car, fuel, your and whatever, that is between you and the principal. But me, in the absence of that commitment from the teachers, I'm going to drop the students. And for that reason, drop another reason why we drop students is that when we gather they lied, that they are financially needy, and they are not. We have mechanism of discovering that. So that's another criteria. Another criteria that we are using is when the students are not able to communicate effectively in basic English and Kiswahili. Those are the only things we are looking for. So language teachers, and you cannot leave the issue of language, all language policy, to language teachers only. That is teamwork from the whole staff in the school, including the support staff. I get embarrassed when teachers and staff will communicate comfortably in mother tongue and the students are watching. Now, how will you tell that student to stop communicating in mother tongue? When you, the teacher, you are you are the best mother tongue speaker in the staff. So we lead by examples. So I was a teacher in Central Kenya, and they used to conduct meetings in the local language, and I was the only non-Kikuyu speaking member of staff at that school. And when the staff meeting is over, I used to walk straight to the principal and tell her, Madam, I'm congratulating you because today you have actually used very good Lingala. And everybody would laugh. I thought I was sending signals to them that I'm being affected. Then the following day, during the staff room, the same will happen. Like that, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I worked in that school for 4 years. I was supposed to work for 5 years, but I only managed to work for 4 years. I was going to 4 years and then left. So I'm telling you from experience, when you are privileged to be a member of the local community in this staff room, and there are teachers who are from different communities here, when you continue speaking in mother tongue, you are sending them away. The kind of emotional stress you are giving these teachers, even if they are not complaining, only God knows. Because I will not be comfortable to teach in a staff room when a top member of staff are speaking the local language for 30 good minutes. And I'm there, I'm not listening. Are they talking about me? Are they planning to kill me? What are they saying about me to the students? And you are a national officer, you are a TSC officer here. So if you want the language policy to succeed, we are already giving you suggestions. They are there online. Then we must start with members of staff. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the Wi-Fi internet. I bought Wi-Fi modem here, and Ndenga Secondary Schools was one of the left schools to get one. However, I realized that Ndenga is not paying the monthly recurring bills. KISWATE does not pay recurring bills. You just cut you off and you continue your own. We started Vero Primary School with lunch program for 2 terms, and then the parents picked it up. And right now, at Vero Primary School, students are getting lunch from day 1 of the year to the last day of the year. And they say we are doing this for class 8 and class 7, and the performance has improved. Now we are giving you Wi-Fi, we pay the first deposit, and you are supposed to come up with your own innovative ways on how to play the other bill. Then I was told that there was some small miscommunication, or there's this, or this bill is too high, teachers, but no, I paid that bill. And right now you have Wi-Fi for the next 1 month. Makofi kwangu please. Some people say when I do this that I'm too proud or I'm bragging, but I'm bragging for my achievements. What is wrong with that? When you work very hard and achieve something, you need to be proud of it unless you got it through the back door. There's nothing wrong with that. And you cannot stop what people say. Let them continue to say, but I'm going to blast you. So that will not. So there's Wi-Fi for the next 1 month. Now, after 1 month, please, teachers, work with your principal, the parents, and the board of management of this school, and let us have Wi-Fi, not only to teachers in the staff room, but also in the principal's office and the computer lab. Because this is the future. In the next 5 to 10, in the next 10 to 20 years, nobody will rent a house in the residential areas where you live if there is no Wi-Fi. And if I had money, or if there was some investors around here, if I want all these businessmen with residential buildings around here in Okwana, or in Boke, or in Sega, those are the centers here where our teachers live, then what I do, I just come up with a structure that can house 50 families with free Wi-Fi. Another, the same in Sega, the same in Aboke, and the same in Okwana. And I put free Wi-Fi. And then when it comes to rent, if that house is going for 7,000, I reduce that house to be 6,000. I'm telling you, everybody will move there. And this house will collapse. That's the way we are moving, and that's what is happening in the US. Now, we have the PDs. Mwalimu, we don't have a situation whereby teachers are unable to complete their online training as prescribed by TSC because there was no Wi-Fi in the school. We know the struggles that this school undergo, the challenges that they face. We understand that. We know the protocol that the principal is supposed to take for such approval to be done, because the new concept, some members of the board do not even understand what Wi-Fi. They'll be wondering, what madness is this? And that takes time. It has to sink. Now, when that is happening, teachers, please, do not give an excuse that the principal did not give an Wi-Fi. That's why you are, how do they call them? They are called the TPDs or what? TPDs. You are behind on that. That's why you are behind on that. I already give you a new one for one full month. Make use of this 1 month to make sure that you are up to date. So that when the principals one will be coming, we continue building on that. Let me tell you this for free. The Assistant Commissioner at TSC in charge of recruitment, training, and human resource development, Dr. Julius Uchiel Olayo, was my boss at African Virtual University. And I learned a lot of things from him when he was a junior administrator at the university. He worked very hard and acquired a PhD in human resource management. He has worked with many companies like Kenya Forestry Service, NETA, Mastermind Tobacco, Kenyatta University, among others. Now, his vision for teachers at TSC is to use IT to improve delivery of content in the classroom. IT for management of teachers. So those who are complaining about the TPD, I'm not here to speak for the TSC or to market it or to say these policies. I don't have that mandate. They are doing an exercise in, they will not go anywhere because